with Josh Mertz suspended, someone else can take the glory for MRT as we're here for round number 5 of the 2014 NASA Rallycross Challenge season here in Long Island for the Long Island Rallycross Grand Prix, and it's the second round of the 2014 Royal Purple Endurance Cup. So hello everyone, it's Josh Mertz up here in the commentary box bringing you the call for the Automotive Sports Network, as this is our format for today's race. We have 12 cars, and we're going to have 3 heats, 3 laps apiece because of the long circuit. The LCQ will be 2 laps, the final will be 6 laps, but it's still top 2 in each heat advance to the final, top 2 in the LCQ advance through to the final. And like I said, Josh Mertz was suspended after his tirade in race control last week. So Cody Erdman is the lead driver back for this week here in Island Rally, and car number 3 will be Luke Fleming for the MRT squad, but he's not on track yet. Heat number 1, already getting ready to go. On pole will be Chris Wetz in car number 71, Doug Denice in car number 10. Then it is Brandon Lambert and Cody Erdman getting ready and lined up for the first of 3 heats today. Remember, it is a shorter race lap-wise, but distance is about the same, as fine-tuning the lineup here. Squishing them all together. Erdman should be at a disadvantage along with Wetz. The concrete and grass don't have a lot of grip, but the asphalt does, so Denice and Lambert should get a good run. As prepping the launch control and getting ready to go for round number 5, the first heat of round number 5 here. As remember last week's thrilling race, left Revolution with a 1-2, revving them up and getting ready to go, and it's lights out and away we go. Like I said, Lambert hole shot in car number 21 for the Volkswagen squad. That leaves pole sitter Wetz in last, Denice in second. As we go into corner number 1, Erdman gets turned by Denice. So around the MRT driver goes, and he's immediately in 4th spot. Now Denice is in second off the road, and this will put Wetz through to second. So the drivers that landed on each other last week are in 1 and 2 already today here in Island Rally. As rounding the corner, up the hill, Lambert will go. After you drop, you plunge downhill, you come uphill through the left-hander, another left-hander, then you take a jump. Remember, this is where the MRT drivers came together last season as Citroen. Downhill, this is where Lambert in 2012A went off the road and made Mertz do some even further rally crossing. He actually did some landscaping to the hills on the side to avoid the 21 car. As Lambert pulling away, as he's already out to a nice lead here in heat number 1. As Erdman pushing hard, trying to catch Wetz, running it off the track in car number 2. It's good to see Erdman back, as he has not been around for several weeks. He was at Valkenswaard. And remember that controversial incident with him and Livengood on the first lap of the final there. He took a couple weeks off running at Slinger Speedway, but he was able to get some free time to come run with his friends in the NASA Rallycross Challenge, as Lambert leads at the end of lap 1, so it's 2 to go. He was able to come back and take the helm of the MRT squad, as Mertz is not even here. I don't even think he's on the pit gantry. I think he's back home in Indiana. So we will probably check on that, as Erdman again over the jump issues in car number 2, and around he goes. So not a good return for Cody Erdman. I shouldn't have talked about him. That's the commentator's curse. So he's trying to get out of the dirt. But Mertz isn't even here. So Erdman is leading the team on track, on the race, and managerial-wise, if that's even a word. But Lambert not having issues like the MRT squad is right now. He's pulling away. Wetz is in second, and Denice is in third. He was able to sneak the spot away from Erdman. As Wetz trying to get on the front row. He had that issue with Lambert you saw last week where they ended up flipping spectacularly in heat number 2, but they're both together in heat number 1. And together, they always have... What are you doing, Cody Erdman? Erdman is having a lot of issues right now with car number 2. He was on the side of the road. He was on the sand. I think he might have something wrong with the suspension, as he is having loads of issues. Lambert is not, as he takes the white flag in car number 21. Wetz is in second, and I believe Erdman has not retired. I thought he pulled off the track. There might be something wrong with the suspension on car number 2, as he is all over the place. Rounding the final corner in fourth. Lambert on the complete opposite side of the track. Really hasn't been challenged in this heat. He was able to get that huge hole shot. There's Wetz at the top of your picture, I should say. He was able to get the hole shot, and he's pretty much pulled away. And good to him. I mean, these two, now that you think about it, these two are at the top of the championship. He's not just going to sit around and let Wetz battle with him. He's going to pull away. As Denice, Privateer, and Erdman running for the constructor team, MRT, obviously. But he is on a part-time schedule, so he really is going for the win or going for the steering wheel, as the NASCAR boys would say. As rounding the penultimate corner, Lambert's going to run up the hill and take victory here, as long as he doesn't have a car failure or doesn't crash into the forest. Winding up the hill in car number 21, under the Pirelli bridge, his Pirelli shod car, his Volkswagen Polo RX, off the final corner, making the long run down the home straightaway over the two jumps, and Lambert will be victorious in heat number 1 here in Island Rally. And his title rival, Chris Wetz, will be second in car number 71. And through the LCQ will be Doug Denice and Cody Erdman. Heat number 2 drivers getting ready to go now. As here we are, a little bit scrunched up, but we've got Living Good on pole, Nicholson in second, Sherman and Cars. As Living Good's not giving Nicholson any room whatsoever. Living Good's trying to stay off of that concrete, because if you're on the concrete, you're going to get the worst start. So he's trying to stay off the concrete, but we're revving him up for heat number 2 here in Island Rally, and it's lights out, and away we go. Off the line, Living Good with 2 wheels on the concrete, still got a great start. Side by side, Nicholson with Sherman. Into corner number 1, Nicholson budges. The only privateer, he does not have to worry about these drivers. He does not have to worry, as he's around in car number 37. But in a way, that is a good thing for him, because he does not have to worry about transferring through. He is pretty much running uncontested for the Privateer Cup this race, at least, because Casey Lester's team, despite the fact that this is their home race, I believe he does live in New York, he's not here. So Nicholson's running uncontested pretty much in this race. I mean, you've got Denice and the mayor, and I believe Tanner Smith, but they're down. They're way down in the points. So Nicholson's going to get an easy 20 points, at least, if he just runs by himself. But anyway, Living Good, this is the second time this car has appeared. I believe he ran it in Guadarrama. This is his endurance car. It debuted here last season when it was car number 1. And a beautiful looking paint scheme. I believe Brandon Lambert actually designed this paint scheme for the Revolution Racing driver, the Triple Crown champion. Beautiful paint scheme in car number 51. Hopefully trying to return to car number 1 this season, as car number 1 is not here. So he will try and fight his teammate and Lambert, as I believe they're top 3 in points for the title of champion for 2014A, as anybody can still win it, to be honest. But at the end of lap 1, there's 2 laps to go, and it's Living Good leading in car number 51, followed by Sherman, followed by Cars, and followed by Nicholson. As I'm getting word that we might have satellite issues when it comes to the Mayor and Tanner Smith's cars. We will look into that, hopefully get it fixed, but if we don't, I apologize in advance. So lap and a half finished here in Island Rally. Keith Sherman second, Cars third, Nicholson all by himself, the Privateer in fourth. I mean, he would want to advance through to the final. I mean, to be honest, everyone wants to advance through to the final. If a Privateer advanced through to the final, that'd be the best thing for them because they'd get guaranteed 20 points in the Privateer Cup. And if you were, in this case, Nicholson, or if Lester, if he was here, if either of them could advance through, they could essentially start and park the final. Because if they know they would not be able to take the fight to the constructor teams, as Living Good issues with rear brake, he's getting that lockup perfect. But if you're a driver that you know you can't take it to the constructor teams and you make it through the final, you've pretty much won. So you could just park the car and take 20 points for the Privateer Cup. As I believe that's not against the rules, but, I mean, anything, you could do anything as long as you don't get caught. I mean, isn't that the general consensus? As the white flag waves for Dylan Livingood in car number 51, trying to take the fight to Lambert and Wetz. As second place still Sherman, third place still Cars. The running order pretty much has not changed since turn 2 of lap 1. Everyone just minding their own business pretty much, trying to get to the finish here. As we're on the final lap, I believe, here in Island Rally, if I'm not mistaken. As Livingood pulling away consistently. Check the lap times. He's a good 0.5 of a second faster than Sherman. Then it's Cars a second slower than his teammate, and Nicholson's a further second slower than that. So Livingood uncontested in this heat. I believe coming to the checkered flag. So out of the penultimate corner, up the hill he goes. And I really feel bad because these heats are really long and drawn out. And I'm silent because there's nothing really to describe when you have a car by himself. As Dylan Livingood will come down to the line and win heat number 2 here in Island Rally. Immediately beginning to celebrate as the Mangled Lemons cars got close, but it's going to be Sherman followed by Cars and Nicholson. Your Heat 2 results here in Island Rally. As Heat number 3 on track now. And remember how I told you how we have satellite issues? We do, and I apologize. That's Tanner Smith in car number 13, the gray Mitsubishi. He's sponsored by Toyo Tires, though. And Tristan Hagenstein in car number 84, the Mayor, and car number 3, Luke Fleming. So that is the car that has replaced the double defending champion Josh Mertz, Luke Fleming in car number 3, and Hagenstein in car number 84. As it was planned that Hagenstein and Fleming would be for Subaru MRT, but Cody Erdman said, I'll come back 30 minutes before the race. And so Hagenstein said, okay, I'll drive car 84. Fleming's plans haven't changed for car number 3. So this is how it is for Island Rally, without the double defending champion here. And we're revving him up for heat number 3 in Island Rally, and it's lights out and away we go. Whole shot goes. Who's going to get it? ESPN Bridge. Let's see who gets it at the bridge. It was Hagenstein and Fleming too close to call. Hagenstein gets it, followed by Fleming, the Mayor, and Smith. So now this is a tight heat between the two teammates. We finally get some action, possibly. Without a team owner here, he can't try and put team orders on his drivers. So who knows what will happen? As contact nearly between Smith and Fleming. Or that was the Mayor and Fleming, 44 and 3. As Hagenstein getting close, or Fleming getting close to Hagenstein. Fleming sideways over the jump as these two privateers are battling as well. So we've got 2 constructor cars and 2 privateer cars in this race. As the Subaru MRT car team does not have a second car. They haven't had a second car for a couple of weeks. Fleming sideways Along with the mayor, Smith makes contact with him, and around the mayor goes in car number 44. That was interesting because both of them slid at the exact same time. The one car that didn't slide was Smith, and he stopped to let the mayor through. As that, I believe, is the new rule put in place. If you spin somebody out, you got to stop and let them pass you. As that was the big issue with last week. Mertz stopped. Lambert was turned completely around. He stopped and then went. 2 laps to go for Hagenstein and Fleming in the transfer spots. As the 2 privateers are battling for third. What a run by Smith in car number 13. Huge run down the front straightaway to pass the mayor. As these 2 are having a cracking battle into corner number 1. And Smith nearly shoves the mayor out wide. As what a battle between these 2 cars. As the 2 Subarus were factory supported. Subaru Impreza WRX STIs. Pulling away from the 2 privateers, the 1 Mitsubishi, the 1 Subaru. As Hagenstein leads Fleming here on lap number 2 in Island Rally. So it looks like the mayor has spun out again in car number 44 as Smith is pulling away for third. But third really doesn't matter, unfortunately, as it's all about the top 2. As you saw for a split second there, all 4 cars in the shot. As off the final corner, Hagenstein leads. Let's see if we can get all 4 cars in this shot. There's Smith in the back, and the mayor should appear. There goes Hagenstein, Fleming, Smith, and the mayor. White flag for Hagenstein. And looking at laps, a 10th advantage to Hagenstein from Fleming, but Smith is a 2nd and a 10th faster than Hagenstein. If he hadn't have had that issue with the mayor, he'd be battling with them right now. But the 2 teammates are battling with themselves as Smith all alone in third going over the jump. That's the gap. And then the mayor off the track again in car number 44. Hagenstein, I believe, I don't know who's higher in points. I believe it's Fleming who's higher in points than Hagenstein. And if Josh Mertz was here, he would have said, whoever's higher in points gets the heat win. Because that's what he does. But he's not here. So I should shut up and stop talking about him because the champion's not here for a reason. And it's really a shame because the champion is supposed to be the ambassador for the sport and not the guy who gets suspended. But anyway, Hagenstein ran it wide. Fleming will try possibly for the inside, but he doesn't want to jeopardize anything. You can expect Erdman on the radio telling the drivers to not crash because he would like to see all 3 of the cars in the final. As we're running up the hill for the final time for Tristan Hagenstein. He was able to hold off his teammate under the Pirelli bridge through the final corner. Will he run it wide? No. And on the final home straightaway, it's going to be an MRT 1-2 affair in heat number 3. Hagenstein will win ahead of Fleming as those 2 advance with Tanner Smith, in third, and the mayor will be in fourth. As the LCQ getting up and running. As you can tell, I'm still under the weather here. As here we go. On track, on pole, will be Cody Erdman in car number 2. Nicholson in car number 37. Denice in car number 10. Followed by Smith and there goes Denice. Denice doesn't really know what he's doing, unfortunately. So, Erdman, Nicholson, Denice, Smith. Then it is the mayor and cars, as we have 12 cars for today's race. So, 3 privateers on the front row, followed by a constructor car. And then a constructor car in the back row, and a privateer. So, we're going to make a big deal out of whoever will get through, because that's going to guarantee them, if they're a privateer, 20 points. And lining them up It's taking a while, but we want to make sure that they're even, which really doesn't make sense because Erdman's going to be screwed on the start anyway. Here we go, 2 laps, 2 cars will get through for the LCQ for round number 5, and it's lights out, and away we go, and off the line! They're pinching, and Erdman's around! That's a red flag. That was half the field. And that's a red flag. As everyone's regridding, Erdman's mad. And let's get them all regridded here and ready to go. Because it looked like Nicholson, Denice, and Erdman all pinched. And then from there, it just wasn't nice. So here comes Tanner Smith in car number 13, gridding up. So let's try this again. On pole will be Erdman, then Nicholson, then Denice, then Smith, then the mayor and cars on the back row. For the LCQ for round number 5 of the NASA Rallycross Challenge. Is getting them gridded up and ready to go. Revving them up. Nicholson jumps the start a little bit. That's going to ruin his chances. And it's lights out and away we go. Off the line. Looks like a clean start. Whole shot will go to Tanner Smith in car number 13, followed by Denice, the mayor, Cars, and Erdman. Into the first real corner, over the jump, off the road is Cars. It's Smith, Denice, the mayor, Erdman, Cars, Nicholson. Your running order. As Tanner Smith pulling away in car number 13. This is not what everyone else wants to see if they're a privateer, because they want to be able to battle for the win and battle for the honors. As the mayor getting close to Denice, Erdman's trying to slice through here because if he doesn't make the final, he's going to ring back to Indiana and tell Mertz, yeah, I didn't make the final, and Mertz is probably going to rip his face off. As the mayor and Erdman battling for third, but third is not the position you want to be in for the final, and this is only a 2-lap race, so you've got to take risks. You've got to drive even more aggressive, and if you think the LCQ is insanity at a normal track, you just have to watch this. As around nearly was Cars, Erdman made a really close pass on Denice, and off the road is the mayor. Denice is off the road as well, and the mayor will come back, nearly making contact with Erdman, and these two are battling for second in privateers because, hello, Tanner Smith, you're leading privateers and you're leading the LCQ. As I remember last season, he was hired by Volkswagen for a couple races. In 2013 B, he was hired by Volkswagen for a couple races, hired for the full season, and the only race he showed up for was this one, and then he never showed up again. So he was dropped by Volkswagen as he takes the white flag, found a Mitsubishi for his private team, and now he's going to run a few races in this private car as Erdman second, Mayer third, fourth Denice, fifth Cars, sixth is Nicholson. So your private running order is Tanner Smith, the Mayer, Denice, and Nicholson, 4 privateers in this race. So 20 points will go to Smith, 17 to the mayor, 15 to Denice, and 13 to Nicholson. And Nicholson, really, it doesn't matter for him because the 3 other cars in this race are not even close to him in points. He's still going to pull away as the privateer points leader. As I mentioned, Casey Lester is not here. As Tanner Smith, using all of the road and then some, using some of the berm to try and be even faster than he already is. As Erdman has to hold off the mayor, who finished first as a privateer last week, finished 9th overall. And Tanner Smith down to the penultimate corner in car number 13. It's getting good for the transfer spot. Erdman should be worried as he's pushing really hard. Will the mayor try the inside? Yes, he does, but he runs it wide, and he shoves Erdman off the track. The mayor has to give that spot back, and he does. As that was a risky move. I mentioned you had to take risks, but that was too much of a risk, and that's going to allow Erdman to possibly seal it unless he dive bombs in the final corner under the Pirelli Bridge, which is funny because it's a Toyo-sponsored car, and Tanner Smith will take the victory as a privateer and will transfer through to the final as he wins round 5's LCQ. Erdman will finish second and transfer through. Second place in privateers is the mayor. Third place in privateers is Denice. Fifth place That's Cars in 5th in the LCQ. But 4th place, in Privateers is Brandon Nicholson, and he will come down to finish last, which is 12th here at Island Rally. Now the final is getting ready to go, and this should be fun. And I believe Dylan Livingood, race director, has told them to grid on the track. So this is what they're going to do, because pit lane is so ridiculous. And to give everyone a fair shot, I believe the grid has been moved. Yes, it has. The grid has been moved to the middle of the track. So which is fair, because we want to give everybody a fair shot. And this is a really nice camera for the grid. Thank you, Dylan Livingood, picking a good spot to grid everyone up at. So everyone is on track, except for Tanner Smith, as he's pulled into the wrong grid spot, I believe. They're debating whether or not the LCQ should be on the left. So I don't think anyone told Tanner. Yeah, there we go. Now they're telling him to move. Okay. So let's go through the grid. On pole, it's Brandon Lambert, followed by Livingood, Tristan Hagenstein, and Tanner Smith. Then on the back row, it's Chris Wetz, Keith Sherman, Luke Fleming, and Cody Erdman. The first time the defending champion has never, ever raced. We said in Valkenswaard first time he didn't make the final, but he's not even here. So it's the first time the defending champion has raced before in the season, and he's not here. Thank you for joining us here on the Automotive Sports Network, and it's lights out, and away we go! And off the line, Livingood gets the whole shot for a moment, but it switched, because, nope, he's got it, never mind. Lambert in second. Hagenstein misses a shift in car number 84. So, Lambert sideways in car number 21. Around is Erdman from his front bumper of his teammate, and that might be a red flag. Looks like it's a red flag. Is it? Unsure? It was only 2 cars. But Livingood battling with Tanner Smith. Will Smith take the fight to the inside of Livingood? No. Lambert second. Wetz is fourth, excuse me. 5th Fleming, 6th Hagenstein, 7th Sherman, 8th Erdman. The 2 Mitsubishis battling now already, and we're not even through lap 1. As Livingood trying to pull away. Smith goes off the track. Lambert in third. With arguably, Tanner Smith could have won the championship in 2013B had he been consistent, because he won in Crofton his first ever start, then he missed the final. And if you miss the final, you're pretty much not going to win the championship. But anyway, Livingood leads. Smith second. 3rd Lambert. 4th Wetz. 5th Fleming. 6th Hagenstein. 7th Erdman. And I believe Sherman has parked the car, so there's 7 cars already. Around the final corner, and Smith got a better run to the inside. Livingood blocking. Is Livingood on Tanner Smith? I believe blocking is allowed. They've never actually gotten close to be able to throw a block, or we've never gotten a straightaway long enough to. And at the end of lap 1, Livingood leads. Smith is there, trying to make a move on the Triple Crown champion. But he can't make it. Lambert third. 4th is Wetz, 5th is Fleming. Fleming is sideways, 6th is Hagenstein, 7th is Erdman. So not a good display by the MRT cars today. As Smith looking to the inside, he made it work, he had enough room. Can he make the pass on the inside? Remember last season, him and Mertz came together. He might come together with Livingood. He completed the pass on Dylan Livingood in car number 51. What a move from Tanner Smith. As Livingood now trying to play catch-up, and it looks like Smith is trying to pull away. As sideways he was. Both of them are off the track. As this is insanity. As Livingood is off the track. He's completely on the sand. Nearly taking out Lambert. Will he can't make contact with his teammate? No. But he goes from 2nd to 5th. 2nd to 4th, excuse me. As now the battle is going to heat up between Smith and Lambert. Wetz. Fleming nearly take out Livingood. As these drivers are already showing fatigue, and I'm already showing fatigue as I feel bad and my lungs feel like they're going to collapse. But I will try and finish this race for you guys. Just let me catch my breath here. I will go over the running order and take a breather for about half a lap, as we don't have commercial breaks here at ASN. So completing lap number 2, Tanner Smith is your leader. Lambert's second. 3rd is Wetz. Fourth is Living Good, blocking fifth, which is Fleming. Sixth is Hagenstein, and it looks like Erdman has retired in seventh. So I'm going to talk again in about half a lap. As Tanner Smith still pulling away. As I bet you enjoyed hearing the raspiness of all these rally car engines, as they do sound pretty good. Lambert's second, Wetz is third, fourth Living Good, fifth Fleming, sixth is Hagenstein. Erdman has retired from seventh, and Sherman has retired from eighth. So we only have 6 cars left as we're coming to end lap number 3. Crossed flags are being displayed at the flag stand when the cars will go by. But these 2 cars, former teammates at Volkswagen, Tanner Smith and Brandon Lambert. Third spot is Wetz. Tanner Smith has already won the Privateer Cup. He's got 20 points for that championship, but it's all down to the overall win. Lap 4 beginning now. Tanner Smith nearly gives it away as he was blocking the inside and nearly fell off the track. Lambert second, third Wetz, fourth Fleming, fifth Living Good, sixth Hagenstein. As looking at laps, Lambert is 5/6 of a second quicker, actually 5.5 quicker than Smith. That's why Smith is blocking. Lambert has something Smith does not, or he found something that Smith does not have, and they're pulling away. Wetz ran a 36.1. Last lap was Lambert's fastest, 35.4. Living Good off the track in car number 51. So he's falling down the order, down to 5th. And Tanner Smith pulling away, coming to 2 laps to go here in Island Rally. He doesn't want to just cruise, but he kind of has to. The gap is not that much for him to allow him to just cruise, which is kind of unfortunate because as a racing driver, you kind of want to cruise once in a while, but in Rallycross, you never have the opportunity. Next week, we will be in Talladega for round number 6 of the NASA Rallycross Challenge, so be sure to tune in when we broadcast that on ASN On Demand. 2 laps to go for Tanner Smith, as he wants to get redemption from last season here. As Lambert in the Volkswagen second, third is Wetz, fourth is Fleming, fifth is Living Good. Living Good has fallen from first to 5th in 4.5 laps. And Hagenstein holding station in 6th. Smith ran a 34.9 to Lambert's 36.1. Fastest lap of the race, 34.9, Tanner Smith. To Lambert's 36.1, Wetz ran, that's going to just kill Mike Rammer, especially because I'm not feeling good. Wetz ran a 35.7, which was his fastest lap, 35.747. Fleming ran a 35.765, Living Good a 37.983, and Hagenstein a 36.788. Everyone ran their fastest laps except for Lambert. I believe Lambert went off the track a bit. So there's your running order. You can't really see because of our graphic, but it's Smith, Lambert, Wetz, Fleming, Hagenstein, and Living Good. That's the laps, the fastest laps. So you can see Tanner is pushing to try and pull away. The Toyo Tires sponsored Mitsubishi taking the white flag. Can we get a privateer winning for the second time this season? Still no spoilers from Guadarrama. That kind of spoiled it, but you'll just have to deal with what I told you. We won't tell you the actual person who won. That will be safe until we can broadcast that race. And like I mentioned last week, we are still having some weird issue with Spain not allowing us to broadcast. They were trying to say that they were producing the broadcast and we can just commentate it. It's really weird. We will keep you posted and get that broadcast out as soon as we can. But right now it's round 5. Next week will be Talladega. That should be good. Always a frantic race in Talladega. And that's what started MRT's run back to the front, because this was their last race as Citroen. They had, or St. Eustache was actually. Or were they? No. St. Eustache was round 9, excuse me. I'm thinking of 2013B. They had that run as Citroen, second and third here. Then they switched to Subarus, and then it kicked into high gear. So who knows what will happen at Talladega next week. You'll just have to find out. But currently, we are finishing up here at Island Rally, and it's Tanner Smith and Lambert and Wetz on the podium. Fleming a strong 4th, 5th Living Good, 6th is Hagenstein. As unfortunate as this sounds, we don't really care about those. The Privateers are really mad right now because they were hoping they could win for themselves, but the Privateer who transferred is the Privateer who will win his 3rd career victory. Tanner Smith in a private Mitsubishi wins an Island Rally, followed by Lambert, his former teammate. Wetz is in 3rd, his 2nd consecutive podium, I believe. Fleming in car number 3 will finish 4th on debut for MRT. 5th place is Living Good. 6th place is Hagenstein. 7th is Erdman. 8th place is Keith Sherman. As let's go through the final results here. Sherman 8th, or we see Smith 1, Lambert, Wetz, Fleming, Living Good, Hagenstein, Erdman, Sherman, the Mayor, Denice, 11th is Cars, and 12th is Nicholson. It's the top 10 in driver points. That has tightened up. Lambert 79, Wetz 74, Living Good 66, Fleming 64, Hagenstein 54, Mertz drops to 6th with 49, and Smith was not here, 39. Caleb Paul was not here, 37. Nick Cars, 30. And Adam Simons, who was not here, with 28. As the constructor points, Revolution Racing, 134. MRT, 125. Volkswagen, 118. MRT Junior, 94. And Mangled Lemons Racing has 69. As the Manufacturers' Championship tightens up just a tad, Subaru has 90, Volkswagen 81, Mitsubishi 79, and Ford has 49. So like I mentioned, next week will be round number 6 in Talladega. Until then, congratulations to Tanner Smith, and so long, everyone.